So it is possible in Java to write one single try block with multiple catch blocks in the following lines of codes. So what happens is, it is possible that one block of code can give you multiple different types of exception, can results in multiple different types of exceptions that you need to handle. So in that case, you may want to use one try block, and then each of the different types of exceptions that you are expecting, you can write in the successive catch blocks like this. So what happens is, basically, if an exception occurs in your block of code inside the try, then the exception will be analyzed at each catch block in a top-down fashion. That is, the first catch block in the exception will be analyzed in the first catch block first, then the next catch block, and then in the next catch block, like that. So in the top-down fashion, it will be analyzed. And as soon as the type of exception matches, that corresponding catch block will execute. So for example, let us say now you are trying to divide two numbers in the end of the array. Let us say you have an array of size 5. So like this, say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and there are few numbers. Let's say there is like 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50, something like this. And you want to divide the last two element of the array, whatever it is. It may be 40 and 50, it may be 20 and 30, it may be 10 and then 0, or whatever it is. So here there are two types of exception that you can expect. The first one is, since you are handling with the last two element of the array, there is a chance of like the boundary exceptions. So you go boundary exceptions means you went beyond the array length. Let's say the last index of the array is 5, but somehow you want to access the index 5 in here. So last index is 4 and you want to access index 5, and at that point of time there may be an array index out of bound exception. So you created a catch block for that. And then also, since you are doing a division operation in here, what may happen is like you can get an arithmetic exception, like the divided by 0 error. So something like that. And finally, let us say if you are not sure what type of exception will occur, it is always recommended, after all these specific type of error, you can specify a general purpose catch block with this exception E. So why it is general purpose? If you see the previous two catch block, in the first one I am handling a specific type of exception, which is array index out of bound, which will only handle if you are trying to handle an index beyond the actual array index. And then the next is arithmetic exception, which will only handle the divided by 0 type of exception. And if you are not sure what to handle after all these specific things, you just add an exception with no type specification for the exception. So that it will automatically, if none of the catch block earlier handles it, it will automatically come inside the general purpose catch block and it will be handled. So this is the fundamental concept, that, well, a try block can have multiple catch block, and it is up to you, it is up to your design principle how you are going to arrange all these catch block, and it is up to you, and you have to be little bit visionary to understand that what type of errors or exceptions can occur, and based on that you can write the specific uh, type of exceptions in the catch block, like this array index out of bound. You may expect a divided by zero error, so you can write another arithmetic exception block, catch block for this, and then finally a general purpose catch block. So whenever you write your code like this, as I have told, as soon as an exception will occur, it will be analyzed in each of the try block in top down fashion. So it will start from the first catch block, then it will be analyzed in the second catch block, then it will be analyzed in the third catch block, and so on. And as soon as one catch block matches the type of exception, that catch block code will be executed. For example, let's say your array in let's say your code is giving rise to a divided by zero exception, because let's say instead of 50 you are trying to divide it, the last number is 0 over here. So whenever you want to divide it like 40 divided by 0, there will be an arithmetic exception. So this will give rise an arithmetic exception. So whenever this arithmetic exception occurs in your code, let's say over here, what will happen? The exception will be handled in the first catch block, but this code will not execute because the exception type is not matching. This is array index out of bound, and the exception is arithmetic exception or divided by zero exception. Then once it is not matched, then it came to the second catch block here. Now after coming to the second catch block, it found that, well, the exception type matched. This is an arithmetic exception has been occurred, divided by zero have been occurred, so it is an arithmetic exception, so it's matched. So execute this piece of code, and that is it. As soon as this matches, this catch block will be executed. And although the next catch block matches the exception type, because it is a general purpose exception, it will match everything, so still it will not execute because the exception is already handled in this catch block. So this is the summary. Whenever an exception will occur, uh, it will be analyzed in the exception occurs in the try block. It will be analyzed in all the successive catch block whatever you have written, and as soon in a top down fashion, and as soon as the exception type will match a catch block, it will be executed and it will not go any further catch block in the down.